events like this, we really love to celebrate because it really does, when we think about the full dimension of the city's influence and impact and our government, and when we think about the really, really modest amount of funding that we can provide to encourage arts and culture and creativity, it's great to be able to celebrate that at an event like tonight. And 16 very creative spirits are going to be recognized for and receive grants tonight through our EcoArt Grant program. Many of you may know that it helps us, of course, connect through arts into our environment and encourage that awareness. And that itself is significant.
I think this project, the EcoArt Grants, is something that we were thrilled at LexArts to be a part of, because the Department of Environmental Quality and Public Works recognizes the role the arts play in educating the public and getting people to understand what's going on. And in the bluegrass, what could be more important to us than our environment? It's our number one asset. So to have artists engage in a discussion about its importance and what we can do as citizens to recycle, clean up, and protect that environment, it's a good thing. So for 4 years now, we've been working with the Department of Environmental Quality to make this happen, and it's reaching thousands of young people and thousands of adults, and we see it growing continuously. So today we're honoring those who've received grants for 2013. And the first one is Andrew Light, a sculptor who's creating transit past town branch waterway sculpture. And here we are at the cathedral with We Are Water, which is a performance and visual arts program. And the Carnegie Center for Literacy and Learning will be conducting workshops and environmental writing classes throughout. Actually, Nathan, what month are they doing that? Do you recall? Oh, April, which is probably Environmental Quality Month. Or Earth Day, there we go. I knew it had something to do with it. And From Trash to Treasure, with Christine Kuhn, who's doing street sculptures with recycled materials. And a multi-panel mosaic by Diane Kahlo, who also is using a lot of recycled materials in her work. And then Institute 193 will be hosting an exhibit by Lonnie Hawley, a nationally recognized artist who deals with cultural and environmental issues, and they will be doing educational workshops and a gallery installation. And Children's Theater will be doing the Heap It On project, and I think Children's Theater is probably one of the first beneficiaries of this program with the Department of Environmental Quality, of creating programs that go into the schools that teach kids about recycling and being responsible citizens. And there's also, at the Living Arts and Science Center, cardboard creations, reusing, repurposing, and recycling materials. And Louis Guida is doing a project, visual and literary project, focusing on Cane Run. And then Morton Middle School is doing a recycling project. Norrie Hall is creating another set of photography focusing on the watershed. And last year, Norrie received a grant for, Norrie, what were the spots where is Norrie? Right there.
Green spaces.
Green spaces. So we've gone from green spaces to the watershed. And Sonia Brooks is doing a project called Paper Dolls, American Heroines, of using recycled materials and getting young people to create works of art focusing on women who have accomplished things and that we're celebrating their service and the use of recycled materials. And Stephen Moore is a photographer who will be doing Bluegrass Wild, a photography exhibit and workshops. And Tonya Vance will be doing a recycling project and demonstration project called Bagtastic, recycling plastic bags. And then an outdoor sculpture project at the Learning Center, guided by Cindy Zeller. And well, this is hard to show. You have to see this. It's gardening, like Gartening, gardening project done by the University of Kentucky on the grounds of the William Wells Brown School.
The grant that I received is called From Trash to Treasure. It's going to be a series of sculptures that are made from the materials, basically from the trash generated in the western suburb neighborhood. I'm going to have 6 families volunteer to give me all the trash that they make for a week. And I'm going to weigh and itemize each family's trash so they can be aware of what they're throwing away and the huge quantity. We throw away a lot of stuff. People don't realize it. Then for each family, I'm going to make one sculpture where the trash is hidden inside the sculpture. It'll be just basically composing the skeleton or the armature of the sculpture. And then for the other sculpture, it's going to be apparent what the materials it's made of. So there'll be 2 different sculptures for each household.
I'll be building a 25-foot long steel sculpture. It's called Transit Past Eye, and it has to do, I'm trying to, through an aesthetic object, trying to bring attention to the rather derelict nature of the town branch waterway over off of Manchester Street, and I've partnered with a local businessman, Barry McNeese, to take advantage of some of the spaces that he has access to along that waterway. And my work is really driven by an emphasis on the figure, and through the use of an abstraction of the body in its presence, try to create an aesthetic opportunity to draw the public in to proximity to the waterway where otherwise they would just drive by it.
My project is called Paper Dolls, American Heroines. And it's going to be a series of paper collages, a little bit, mostly 2-dimensional, but kind of a little 3D. I'm going to be using a lot of papers or reusing a lot of papers. And one particular group of papers that inspired this project is a group of papers that I've actually had since 2000. At the change of the millennium, I was involved in a community project where people put paint on their hands and touched fabric. And then because we were out at a lot of community locations, we had people wipe their hands off on paper towels. And I'm a kind of a scavenger, and I keep a lot of paper. I love paper. The paper towels looked pretty cool, kind of like tie-dye. And so I kept them. They were wet and kind of balled up in a bag, and I would let the paint migrate between the papers and then unfold them and let them dry. And it just so happened they were extremely nice quality paper towels, so they really have lasted. I've been using them since 2000 in various art projects, and I still have a big stash of them. So they were the inspiration to keep making the series that I did start a number of years ago and had stopped.